Title: Trillion Trees Pledge, Republicans' Green Thumb Solution to Climate Crisis. But is it enough? TLDR, the party of the elephant has turned into a group of green thumbs, proposing to plant a whopping trillion trees in an ambitious yet somewhat simplistic solution to climate change. They're sticking to their guns though, not surprising, insisting on not ditching the American-produced energy from oil, coal, and gas. So, the question remains, is this really a substantial move or a PR-friendly facelift? Let's dive in. Representative Garrett Graves, known for his charismatic speeches, recently stood in front of his colleagues in Washington, outlining a plan that might have seemed more appropriate for an Arbor Day celebration than a government session. The proposal: plant a trillion trees. Yes, you heard that right, a trillion with a T. It's a number that's larger than the number of stars in the Milky Way, for those of you counting. Because, who needs emission regulations when you have trees, right? At least, that seems to be the logic as the party aims to continue their unabashed support for the good old fossil fuels. We're talking oil, coal, and gas. You know, the stuff that made the dinosaurs go extinct. Yeah, that. The Trillion Trees initiative comes as an answer to the mounting evidence and increasingly evident effects of global warming. Forest fires, droughts, rising sea levels. No worries, says the GOP, we got trees. And with that, they seem to be moving away from outright climate change denial. As Speaker Kevin McCarthy stood amid the smoke from Canadian wildfires while visiting a natural gas drilling site in Ohio, he confidently responded to queries about climate change and forest fires with the new GOP mantra, plant a trillion trees. But let's pause for a moment, shall we? Think about this, a trillion trees sounds great on paper, but is this enough to combat the monstrous and ongoing challenge of climate change? Or is it merely a green-colored band-aid for a wound that's far deeper and much more serious? Disclaimer, this is not investment or environmental advice. It's merely a deep dive into what the GOP's been cooking in their kitchen lately. Always do your own research, folks. Remember, the world is warming and it's doing so fast. Despite this, the Republicans aren't suggesting a halt on oil, coal, and gas production, the energy troika widely accepted as one of the key contributors to our global climate crisis. Now, managing our forests better is certainly a step in the right direction. Kudos to you, Republicans. But is this enough? Is this move actually indicative of substantial policy change, or is it just the equivalent of placing a small, sustainably sourced band-aid on a gaping wound? So, dear readers, here's a question for you to chew on. Are a trillion trees enough to combat climate change, or do we need more comprehensive and drastic measures? Is this a genuine step towards a greener future, or just a strategic play in the PR game? Let's get the conversation started.